When I did the official record prediction for the Minnesota Vikings before the season started on this channel, I had them at a 1-1 record after their first two games. Thing is, I had them beating Tampa Bay and losing to Philadelphia, but either way, you still have a shot to make it happen, being 1-1 after the first 2 weeks. This time, you're going up against the reigning NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're going to bring a playoff-like intensity to this game. It's their home opener. It's prime time. They're going to want to get after it. They have very few weaknesses on their roster, I would say, besides linebacker and safety, which is why Howie Roseman, I believe, is the best GM in the National Football League. He has had problems drafting wide receivers. He missed out on DK Metcalf, drafted Jalen Reagor ahead of Justin Jefferson. But you got to give him credit. He did draft Devontae Smith. But knowing that he has a problem in that department, he said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and trade for A.J. Brown. That will make it better, right? You look at the rest of their roster, offensive line, best offensive line in the league. Talked about their receivers, probably the best 1-2 punch in football. Jalen Hurts, an MVP candidate last year. Their tight end, Dallas Goedert. Their offense is about as ironclad as it gets. Defensively, you got some nice-ass corners, Darius Slay and James Bradbury. Speaking of Bradbury, we're going to talk about the injury report in just a hot second. But the defensive line is the strength of their defense. They are deep as hell at defensive tackle. So their two defensive ends, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, they're great. But defensive tackle, they are so damn deep, loaded. Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams. That's crazy as hell. And you want to know another credit to Howie Roseman? They lost Javon Hargrave, and they could have said, you know what? We're good with Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis. We're fine. We'll leave well enough alone. No, we're going to go ahead and draft Jalen Carter. Are you kidding me? The injury report as of Tuesday for Philadelphia, James Bradbury is in concussion protocol. Their running back, Kenneth Gainwell, and Fletcher Cox, both dealing with rib injuries. As for the Vikings, center Garrett Bradbury's dealing with a back issue. Christian Darrisaw and Marcus Davenport, the edge rusher, both dealing with ankle injuries. This is going to have to be a total team effort. Offense and defense, you're both going to have to step up and make plays. It can be done. Now, going up against the Eagles offense, Brian Flores, it's very critical to come up with effective disguised blitzes. That's what the Patriots were successful at doing last Sunday. They have the best offensive line in the league. The Eagles do, but they did get worked against the Patriots defense. They're one of the best defenses in the league. But Jalen Hurts got sacked 3 times. 2 out of those 3 times were off of disguised blitzes to where their 2 players, Matthew Judon, believe it or not, and their cornerback, Christian Gonzalez, they were both left unblocked. So that's going to be key there. Make Jalen Hurts uncomfortable. I'm looking at guys like Danielle Hunter, Ivan Pace in 3 safety sets. Okay, Harrison Smith at the line of scrimmage while you let Cam Bynum and Josh Metellus play back. You are going to have to be effective at making Jalen Hurts uncomfortable. Do not let him go say, Hut, I got all the time in the world. A.J. Brown's right there. Smooth. Devontae Smith, smooth. Dallas Goedert, bam, let's move it. You have to be disruptive. Going up against the Eagles defense, you have to expect the reckoning up front. It's going to happen. We don't have the offensive line to really build up enough time to let these receivers go on long developing routes. It's going to have to be a quick passing game. TJ Hawkinson and the receivers get past the scaries. If you can expect that to happen, outside wide receiver screens, a quick passing game. Don't all of a sudden be surprised at their defensive line. They're going to make plays. Just move past it. Don't let it hinder you for the rest of the game. If James Bradbury is out, you're looking at, I guess, Josh Jobe versus Jordan Addison. The opportunities are there over the middle. That's where Mac Jones is not a good quarterback, but that's where he made the most of his opportunities. Now, you're going to have to lean heavily on the passing game. Mac Jones had 54 pass attempts. You can't really expect to be successful running the football against that defensive line, especially with the poor O-line that we have outside of the tackles. But CJ Ham, Josh Oliver, blocking specialists outside of the offensive line, we're going to need to rely heavily on them, as well as a big-time passing performance by Kirk Cousins. I'm going to say the Vikings shocked the world. And you know what? Here's what I'm going to add on top of that. This is a playoff-like atmosphere of a game. If you ever want to get to that next level and be contenders, you're going to have to be able to, wins and losses, they come a dime a dozen, but you need to at least have enough respect for yourselves as a team to compete. Look like you belong on the same damn field. The Eagles, I can tell you right now, they don't respect you as a team. They see you as a little kid that they're just going to stomp all over. Specifically, Fletcher Cox. That 2017 playoff run, NFC Championship game versus the Vikings, 38-7, and then winning the whole title, the chip, at US Bank Stadium at your own house, after which Fletcher Cox said, and I quote, "I think it's safe to say we own the state of Minnesota." They don't respect you. What are you going to do about it? The last time I checked the line, you guys, the Vikings, are 7-point underdogs in this game. What are you going to do about it? Go in there, compete, kick their asses. We'll see you tomorrow.